Friday morning, everybody, and happy Friday and end of the week. We're chatting about the weather forecast for today, for tomorrow, and through the weekend. Feel free to ask any questions as we're live for the next 20 or 30 minutes. We'll break down the dangerous heat. We do have a heat advisory that will go into effect today at noon and expire at 8 p.m. tonight, and likely Saturday and Sunday and even into Monday. It's obviously the hottest time of the year, July, early August, but temperatures are really going to get even hotter, near 105 expected for Saturday and Sunday. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Before we get to that, it is pretty dry outside. We've only seen about 5 inches of rain so far for the year. Before we get started, let me zoom in on this camera angle, so bear with me. I'm going to put you guys on standby real quick. That's a little bit better. All right, guys, good morning and welcome back. So it is going to be hot today. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. If you're just joining us, we're going to break down the weather for this weekend and how hot it's been and how dry it's been. So, a matter of fact, let's zoom in on this graphic right here. The drought is terrible. I mean, you can see the current drought on your left-hand side. There's a lot of dark red colors between San Antonio, the hill country, and even far west Texas. But if you compare that image to the right side of your screen, that is the drought of 2011. This time about 12 years ago, 11 years ago or so. And that's when we had about 98% of the state was under drought. Now, right now we're at 87%, which is obviously bad, but it can and could be worse. And the thing is, if we don't get any rain soon, and we haven't had any this month so far, July started about a week ago, we've seen 0 so far this month. And if we're going to continue on this path, we're going to start to trend towards July of 2011, which is not good. And you can see how much rain we've seen so far this year. Only 5.11 in the rain gauge at the airport. The only month so far this year that's been at or slightly above average was February of this year. Aside from that, all the other months, June, May, April, March, and January, all below average. And we should be around 15 to 16 inches of rain at this time of year, but we're only at 5. And that's putting a pretty big stress on our lakes and our reservoirs. So you can see Medina Lake, Choke Canyon, and Canyon Lake kind of varying, right? Canyon Lake, not too bad, 92% full. The one-year change is not significant. However, if you compare that to Medina's low levels, Medina Lake is at 13% right now, which is just terrible. Amistad, near Del Rio, that is at 35%. And that's down from about 18% from this time last year. So we are in desperate need of rain, and we do not have any in the forecast. We stay pretty dry and hot. Matter of fact, the Weather Service has already issued a heat advisory for today from noon to 8, in addition to likely another one for tomorrow and Sunday, because things just get hotter and hotter. Near 105 expected on Sunday, about 103 to 104 for today. Now, we're not in this alone. From Corpus Christi to Dallas, even east into Houston, and pretty much all of the southern plains stretching out east towards the Carolinas, we're all underneath the grip of high pressure right now. It's pushing down and compressing the air, and this is why you have heat-related advisories, watches, and warnings pretty much all across the south and southeast portion of the United States. And that means it's really going to get hot. So bottom line, if you're going anywhere across the nation, it is going to be very, very hot. If you're just joining us, if you have any questions, let us know. Feel free to answer them. Just want to make sure our audio is working a-okay, because I cannot see the feed right now. And it looks like we are doing all right. Perfect, perfect. Where's the rain? Can we, you know, we want rain, but it doesn't look like anything's going to materialize anytime soon. So 88 degrees right now, feels like 94 when you factor in the high humidity, guys, and dew points over 70, which is indicative of a very tropical air mass that's in from the Gulf of Mexico. And you can see those south winds in the 80s right now. 88 in San Antonio, 86 at Helotes, about 90 at Stinson. We're a couple degrees warmer in Divine, Moore, Atascosa County, Pleasanton at 91. 92 from Beeville to George West, a degree hotter in Cotulla. So basic rule of thumb, if you are southwest or west of San Antonio, you tap more into a dry heat as opposed to a more humid heat near Beeville, Victoria, Port Lavaca, Port Aransas, and Corpus Christi. The closer you are to that water source, the higher your heat index values will be. However, if you're farther west and away from the Gulf, the drier your air is, the higher your air temperature go. So again, the more dryness in your air, the less dew point, the less humidity, the higher temperatures you actually see in regarding the actual air temperature. And right now we're at 88, mostly clear conditions. You can notice as we zoom out and show you the Gulf of Mexico, a few sea breeze showers materializing along I-10 east of Houston. Otherwise, very quiet. The entire state is mostly sunny and barely any clouds out there. Matter of fact, today's forecast, we stay very hot, 102 to 103 for the high today. Mostly sunny. Take breaks if you know anyone that's working outside today or for the next 4 to 5 days. Make sure they have a bottle of water. Make sure they have a hat, sunglasses, anything to keep them cool. And if you are going to the lake or the river or anywhere outdoors this weekend, take breaks. Drink plenty of water. Hydrate and rehydrate. That's the most important thing when we're talking about temperatures near 103 tomorrow, 105 on Sunday, and 104 on Monday. Both and pretty much all the next 3 to 4 days, temperatures are going to challenge records. So you'll see tomorrow's forecast as high as the orange number, 103. 105 is the daily record. So I don't think we'll break the record tomorrow, but we could and likely will break the record on Sunday and tie it, and if not, beat the record on Monday. So 2 out of 3 next 3 days are looking like record challenging, if not record breaking heat. And remember, average this time of year is 94, and then the heat index is a whole nother problem. Remember, the heat index is just the feels like temperature, or when you factor in the humidity. Your body can't sweat efficiently when the humidity is so high, and that's what actually helps boost heat index values. That's why tomorrow's forecast is 107 despite the air temperature being around 104 to 103. The heat index on Sunday and Monday will be the highest, up to 108 to 109 for some communities around San Antonio and around Bexar County and the metro. It's not until Tuesday and Wednesday things start to back off, but not by much. Temperatures will still be above 100 degrees, and the heat index will be near 104 to 105. So dangerous to extreme heat index values expected over the next 4 to 5 days, which has prompted the Weather Service to issue a heat advisory today and likely one for tomorrow, Sunday, and even to Monday and Tuesday, if not excessive heat warnings for the region as well. So detecting heat-related illnesses, so heat exhaustion, heat stroke. If you are experiencing heat exhaustion, that's the most obvious one, right? When you're sweating excessively, you feel faint, if you feel dizzy, if you have muscle cramps, if you're nauseous, if you have a weak pulse, and you have pale and clammy skin. Those are all symptoms of heat exhaustion. It goes up a notch when we're talking about heat stroke. That's when you're actually not sweating, your skin is very dry, and you have a strong pulse. In addition to nausea and vomiting, you have a very throbbing headache, and your body temperature is well above 103. So at that point, you're going to want to call 911. So more importantly, you know, if you're going outside this weekend, if you're spending a long amount of time outdoors, check on your neighbors, check on your friends, your family, kids, anyone that's outdoors for any more than 30 minutes to an hour in the hot, throbbing sun. I mean, that's when you're going to want to take caution, find shade, and have plenty of water with you, because temperatures, if you're just joining us, today will be around 103, 104 tomorrow, and 105 on Sunday, and it's going to cause a lot of problems out there for this weekend. So if you can see this right here, this is the upper level pattern. This is actually the culprit and what's causing so much heat. And this is what we call the heat dome, the ridge of high pressure that typically sets in this time of year, June, July, August. When it moves right overhead, that's when it's the hottest. That's when it's directly pushing down on the atmosphere, clearing out the skies, helping the winds to go calm and cranking up the air temperature. Now, it's not going to be directly overhead, but it's still going to strengthen, and it'll strengthen out west, moving back and forth. Between Dallas, El Paso, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, the Rocky Mountain Northwest, pretty much the western half of the U.S. between now and next Wednesday, it's going to remain strong, and it's going to push down in the atmosphere between here and the western coast. And that's why temperatures are going to get near 103 to 105 this weekend. Despite it being to the west, it'll still be strong enough to have a pretty good grip on us through Sunday and Monday. Now, on the other side of heat is dryness, and with that ridge of high pressure pretty much overhead, that doesn't do much for our chance at rain. It pretty much blocks off any chance moving in from the north or even the south. Now, again, with dry air plus heat plus drought, it is a bad combination. If you have any night plans, please use caution, because when you talk about drought and heat, fires will spark off very quickly. In addition to that, with the drought and any type of breeze, that'll help spread any fires also very quickly. Embers will jump from spot to spot, and you can see where the drought is the worst. Pleasanton, Southern Bexar County, Hondo, Kerrville, widespread across the hill country. We're talking about exceptional drought. Most of San Antonio is under extreme drought, but you can see the southern portion of Bexar County is underneath that very dark and maroon color, which is exceptional. That is the worst kind of drought you can get anywhere. And the thing is, when you zoom out, most of the state is underneath that as well, if not the entire U.S. You can see from Las Vegas, I mean, that's the desert, and they have not received much rain this year. But the eastern half of the U.S., a different story. They're only seeing pockets of severe to moderate drought, if not just abnormally dry conditions, which is the yellow color. From Boston to the Carolinas to Louisiana, but Texas is its own form. And you can see San Antonio on the very dry side of things. Kerrville's under exceptional drought. San Antonio extreme to exceptional, and similar conditions across the region and across South Texas. All right, 7-day forecast. There's a small chance at rain Sunday. Don't count on it. It's not impressive, but there nonetheless. But notice the big story on Sunday is going to be up to 105, 104 on Monday, 103 on Tuesday, and 103 tomorrow. We'll be up to 102 today. So basically between now and Tuesday is a prolonged and very dangerous heat wave that helps temperatures, are going to be up about 10 to 15 degrees above average. And that is even way too hot for this time of year. Again, 94 is the average. We should be stopping around that. We'll be about 105 on Sunday. And then next week, we'll introduce a couple sea breeze showers Wednesday and Thursday, but otherwise very hot, and temperatures really don't back off until about the end of next week. It is going to be pretty hot, guys. Hello from Edinburgh. Isabel, good morning to you. And good morning, Beth. We do need rain. We are in desperate need of it. Matter of fact, if you want to take a look at this graphic right here, we'll show you how desperate we are in for rain. And you can see as I play this graphic, we've only picked up 5.11 inches of rain this year. And February was the only month this year that we picked up at least average, if not a little bit above average rainfall. So bottom line, every single month has been performing below the standard, and we should be around 16 to 17 inches per this year at this time of year, in July, halfway through the year. But we're at 5. So we are not on track to being anywhere near average. We are in a deficit, and we're in desperate need of rain. February is the only month this year that has performed well in the rain gauge at the airport. All right, we'll end off on this right here, guys. Here's the 7-day one more time. Please be careful out there. The 7-day right there. Perfect. 103 tomorrow. There is a heat advisory in effect for today, likely issued one for tomorrow and Sunday and Monday. If you're spending any time outside tomorrow, today, or Sunday, please be careful. Drink plenty of water. Check on your neighbors. Heat exhaustion and heat stroke will be the main concerns going into this weekend, with heat index values above the air temperature up to 108 to 110 for some communities across the region. Please be careful. Take breaks. Find shade. And just use caution out there, guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Aside from that, Arthur, Beth, David, if you're still watching, hope you have a wonderful day. Patrick and Lisa, good morning to you. Otherwise, enjoy a very hot forecast and be careful out there. Temperature is probably near the hottest so far this year on Sunday at 105. Be careful out there.